Probably the predominant thing I've learned from bodybuilding is more so from the physiological teachings that there's really two types of people on earth. There are people who enjoy greatness and enjoy the look and the taste of it, and that's what they want to be. Then there are people who really enjoy the details of it. That's what a good bodybuilder is. Someone who really says, I don't like looking good. I like doing the things that make me look good. Someone who enjoys living and residing in the details.
Prior to bodybuilding, I think the word that would best describe myself was scared, not worthy of. And one thing that bodybuilding has taught me is to be fearless, that there's absolutely nothing wrong with failure, and that I can accomplish, or I have the abilities to accomplish whatever it is that I might be after, and it's transcended into other portions of my life. It's teaching me to value my own time, my own abilities to get stuff done, and to, if anything, put less value into my fears. You know, I've learned to let go of that portion of me, and it's how I approach not just the barbell, but every other single aspect in my life now.
Before bodybuilding, I was really addicted to distractions, video games especially. I can remember playing Diablo 2 literally from the moment I woke up. That's a video game on the computer, by the way. From the moment I woke up, I would play for about 5 hours, eat, play for 5 more hours, eat again, and then go to bed. Wake up the next day, go to school, skip homework, and not really care about anything other than the video games. As soon as I started bodybuilding, I was given a goal, right? Obviously to get stronger, put on muscle, and through doing that, I realized that there's actually more areas in my life that need improvement than just building this muscle and gaining this strength. As I got more and more interested in lifting weights, my addiction to distractions, movies, video games, really things in my life that didn't contribute to any sort of happiness, but were just there to distract me. And some people, this could be like drugs or going down that sort of path, but as I started getting more in bodybuilding, lifting weights, I realized, okay, there's actually 100 different parts of my life that also need improvement. My relationships with family, how I treat others, what I'm going to actually do with my life. That was probably the biggest thing, was as I was lifting weights and focusing on self-improvement, I looked at myself, and amidst all this distraction I was a part of, with all the video games and worrying about parties and how many girls I can get with, I realized I actually have to make some goals, not just in lifting the weights, but where I'm going with my life, what I want to do, and what my place in this planet is. Because without bodybuilding, I would still be stuck. I would still be stuck not actually knowing where I'm going. And this is going to sound weird, but bodybuilding actually was one of the reasons I dropped out of college. It's going to sound really, really weird. And some people are going to laugh and say, wow, that really fucked you up. But it helped me realize what I actually wanted to do. And unfortunately at the time, going to school, in school I wasn't even focused with what I was doing. I was actually still distracted, completely distracted. But bodybuilding helped me get my focus on and realize what I really wanted to do. Changed my mindset, put a new hat on, and every day I'm focused on making a name for myself, not just myself, but helping others figure themselves out and part with all the distractions and get right on top of what they really want to do.
I really like Matt's idea of distractions, because I think that's what, in a sense, the world has come to in terms of when people say purpose. People talk about passion and purpose and what they want to do with their lives. And there's so many distractions. We've become a culture. If you look at our job industry, 80% of people's jobs is service. No one has a feeling of creating anything anymore. And when we were in industrial age, all we did was create things, and you went home and you had a sense of completeness, a sense of feeling. All we do now is service things, and we go home and it's a constant culture of consuming. What bodybuilding taught was my first taste of creation. I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I can't cook. I can't do anything. But with lifting weights, simply trying to be fit and look better, you take this sense of self in making something and being proud of that. And the people who get it wrong are the people who stop just there. The people who get it right are these people who elevate themselves. They go from this starting point from doing something for fun, getting to the level of doing something and being the person they've always wanted to be. The tricky part about that is you don't know the person who you want to be. People have good taste. People say, I want to be passionate about something, but I don't know what that passion is. Well, it doesn't matter. You have to get to creating. You work a skill set of making new things and getting to that next level. What the fuck was I gonna say? So you go from a mental switch, literally. You go for a switch of consuming to creating, from being distracted all the time, from believing what you see on TV. I was watching TV and the Canadian news was on, and I don't give a fuck about Canadian TV. And that's what the world is when they hear about successful people. They hear it, but it's in one ear and out the other. I have nothing to do with that. And they really don't see themselves parallel to that, or a representation of that. Constantly talking about what fucking Michael Douglas is getting married, or some actor or something else, with no real sense of who they are. You're gonna live and die your entire fucking life, worry about somebody else who's actually doing what they want to do. This new model, I guess you can say, this new way is the only way in my mind. I feel every human being has been oppressed if they die and they don't know what creating feels like. So it's not just bodybuilding. We're one of many niches in the world that come and create and really be born again to be individual, unparalleled to anything that you can imagine. With bodybuilding and within the bodybuilding community, what we actually kind of created was this, and it's not, I wouldn't call it a utopia, but a newness of freedom, a taste of a new level of life. Imagine a world you can live in that people aren't afraid to be like the best. People come up to me in the fitness community and say, yo, you did a really good job on a world championship level. I'm gonna be like you. That kid can come to me, doesn't have to go through my agent, doesn't have to go through my YouTube, my Twitter, can come to my face. We live in a real world, a reality where it's not bad it's not bad, or it's not forbidden to worship at the highest level. We don't say, well, that's Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is here. I'm just a mere peon. I can never do what Steve Jobs would do. That doesn't exist in the world of fitness. You can attain to the highest level of greatness that you can imagine to attain to. And your limits are uncontrollable, and that not only just stays in, like I said, ripping myofibrils and gaining new muscle cells, but actually in your mind. And you believe that if you practice every day these habits of failure, you practice every day these habits of structure, of organization, and programs such as nonlinear periodization, where that is exactly how the stock market works. That's exactly how life growth works. That's exactly how our universe we live in, that's ever expanding, works. Biggest point is to not fear fitness. Fear is irrelevant. Like Matt said, there's no point to be distracted. There's no such thing as past, prove it, right? Except electronic video, there's no such thing as a future. You have this burning fusion of a here-ness and now-ness, and that's all you really have. You can die in 10 minutes, and that's it, and that's the end of it. Give as much as you can in this second. As Will Smith said, lay that brick as perfect as you can lay this. Open yourself up to a new world simply by something that's free. You don't need venture. You don't need $1 million to get this business started. You don't need the support of 100,000 people or 100,000 followers. All you need is you and belief in yourself. And you can do fucking anything you want to do.
You know why I fucking love bodybuilding? Because it teaches you, it gives you a chance to encounter failure. If you're at home, distracted, or just living your normal life, like what really stops you from doing what you want to do? It's just the fear of failure. But with all these risks that we take lifting weights, in the end, it's helping us, but we transfer that to the rest of our lives, where we live a boring ass life if we don't take our chances with failure. The people that don't play with failure, they're the ones when they're old with the longest list of regrets. But the people that have the least amount of regrets, those are the kind of guys that probably saw failure more than anyone else. They saw the amount of failure the average person, that the average 20 people have. They have that much encounter with failure. Whereas the people who live their whole life through mediocrity and they're constantly distracted, they don't really fail that much. But in the end, that's the biggest failure of all.